Okay, this is part 2 of going through some homework sheet questions that I gave to my grade 10s before the holidays. So on this side of the sheet we had some solving simultaneously and we had some distance and midpoint. So our first question was to solve simultaneously using the elimination method. So we're instructed to use elimination method. When we look at the elimination method, we're looking for, in our two equations, so a matching set where we've got a positive and negative of value. So here we've got x and we've got negative x. So this works really well for our elimination. So we're just going to add those two equations together. So x plus negative x gives us 0, 4y plus 2y gives us 6y, and 9 plus 3 gives us 12. Then we're able to say if 6y equals 12, y must be equal to 2 because we've divided by 6 on both sides. Then once we've got that, we can solve for x. So we're going to grab one of those equations, doesn't matter which one. Usually we go for the one that has the positives. So x plus 4y equals 9. We're going to put in our y value of 2. So we've got x plus 4 times 2 is equal to 9. Now 4 times 2 is 8. So x plus 8 equals 9. We know that x must be equal to 1. We can then state our solution as a coordinate with our x value first and our y value second, which is like what we did when we did the graphing one in the previous video. The link to the previous video will be in the comment section. The next one says using substitution. So we've got another two equations, but this is a substitution one specifically because we've got our x isolated. It's on its own. So if we had an x on its own or a y on its own, they lend themselves to substitution because we're going to substitute that in to the other equation. So where we see an x, we're going to write 2y plus 5. So instead of writing y plus x equals 14, we're going to write y plus 2y plus 5 is equal to 14. Now y plus 2y is 3y. Then we're going to take 5 from both sides and we get 3y is equal to 9. And then we can divide by 3 on both sides and we get y is equal to 3. Then we have to bring that back and say, well, we knew that x was equal to 2y plus 5. So that means we can now solve for x knowing that y is equal to 3. So we can do 2 times 3 plus 5. So that's 6 plus 5 is 11. So our x is equal to 11 and our y is equal to 3. So we can write that as a coordinate 11, 3. The next two are distance and midpoint questions. Now for distance, we have our d is equal to the square root of x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared. Now when we label our coordinates, we've got x1, y1, x2, y2, and we're popping that into our rule. Usually you'll be given this rule in an exam. So we've got our x2 is 8, take away 5 squared, plus 10, take away 6 squared. So we get the square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared. 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. So we get the square root of 25, which is equal to 5. So our distance between those 2 points is 5. Then for our midpoint, midpoint is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2. So you're finding the average of the x values, and then y1 plus y2 over 2 and finding the average of the y values. So we've got 5 plus 8 over 2, and we've got 6 plus 10 over 2. 5 plus 8 is 13 on 2, 16 on 2. 13 divided by 2 is 6.5, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. So that our midpoint is 6.58. Hopefully that helps, and hopefully those who have done this homework sheet got all those answers correct and can see how they did all the questions.